Here at TOOP+TOOP, we always have renters and investors ask us questions about renting and leasing properties. So for those currently interested in the rental market, today we'll be answering some of your most frequently asked questions.
Is there anything I should do before I apply to rent a property?
Yes, there are a few things you can do before you apply to rent a property. Firstly, fill out the application correctly, all employment information, rental history, and business or personal reference. You also have to have 100 points of ID attached to that application, and just make as though in terms of employment and rental history that those people are easy to contact and all those numbers are filled out correctly so we can contact them and turn around the application as soon as possible.
What rights do I have as a tenant?
You have many rights as a tenant. For starters, if you do sign that lease, it's a fixed term lease for say a 12-month period. You are fixed to that 12-month period. So say if the house is for sale or something does occur that you are the right, the tenancy agreement overrides the sales agreement. That means that you can stay on till the end of your lease of that fixed term.
Who's in charge of any repairs that need to be carried out?
Any repairs that need to be carried out, the person who is liable to pay for that is obviously the landlord, but us as a letting agent, TOOP+TOOP, we are in charge of coordinating those maintenance. So say if you have a plumbing issue, electrical issue, anything like that, you contact our office, then we contact the tradesman who will then sort it out, but obviously the landlord is informed of this. Some landlords may want to do their own maintenance, just depending on how the agency agreement was signed at the start.
Will I be allowed to rent a property if I have a pet?
There are two things to consider when you want to have a pet in a property. One, the type of property it is in terms of ground space, and two, if the landlord will allow the pet. In terms of if the landlord will allow the pet, most landlords leave it open to pets, because saying that if you do say no pets on a property that may be able to suit a pet, it will just cut out a market for that. So saying that if your application is good and you do want a pet in the property, and the landlord ultimately makes their decision. So at the end of the day, if there is no pets written in the ad, you will not apply for that because you're obviously wasting your time. But if there's nothing about pets or pets are negotiable, the landlord will make their decision at the end of the day. And if the application does stand up strong, there is no reason why the landlord will not go for your application.
What do I do if I want to terminate my residential tenancy agreement?
If you're on a fixed term residential tenancies agreement for a 12-month period, if you do want to terminate that agreement, you do need to put something in writing to the property manager to say when you want to terminate it from and what date. But saying this, you are liable to rent till we find new tenants or until the end of the lease. So really tread carefully when you're thinking about breaking your lease.